very important for you to know that this will not be our first time recording this.
No.
Will it be our second time recording this?
No.
Okay. So
No.
First time, forgot to press record. Second time, mics weren't plugged in. Now we're back a whole week later and
We're refreshed.
Look at us.
We're ready to take it on. Who knows what's going to come out?
This is the Conscious Mental Health Podcast for curious clients and conscious clinicians. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be considered health or mental health advice. Since we're back with After Billable Hours, our theme for this After Billable,
we are going to do a little prediction moment. Hot take / what we would like to see happen. And so what we're going to do is look to the new year, talk about our ins and outs for 2025.
Yes.
I'm Laurel, licensed professional counselor and mental health educator.
Yeah.
That's me, my new thing. But anyway, mental health educator. And what's my fun fact going to be? Something that has nothing to do with anything that's been happening lately. Love romantasy.
Romantasy.
Yes.
Not to be confused with bromantasy.
I don't know what that is, but I don't like it.
Tell our audience.
Well, do you know what it is?
No.
Oh, okay. Well,
unaware. But I'm going to guess. Romance fantasy?
Yes.
Combine?
Correct. 100%. So that's my fun fact that I love. Mm-hmm.
So if I was to possibly enter into this genre, because I think we were talking about this and one of the many times we recorded this, but I think I've been telling you lately that I'm kind of feeling like in a rut with my media consumption, and I've been struggling to get out of like political and news related media, and I think I need an escape.
Well, yes, we were talking about it in one of our previous recordings, and I told you that I would be happy to support you in your new escape story. And thus I have brought you today a tool to use in that escape journey.
I need a tool. I need a coping.
So here you go.
Skill.
This is your intro to the romantasy escape genre.
Podcast listeners, Laurel has handed me 2 huge books.
They're not that
huge.
Oh, if you feel like those are
engorged, very thick.
If you
books.
feel like those,
am I getting the?
Yeah, it's that. I mean, maybe. Yeah. There's definitely a vibe of that in there, but it's not just that. There's magic and fairies, and it's wonderful, and it has nothing to do with anything that's going on ever in life, real life ever.
Perfect.
So we'll follow up and see how you feel about them.
Thank you.
But I will let you know that as we are putting these episodes out to the general public, anybody can listen to them. If you don't like it, you probably shouldn't tell anybody, because the fandom is very large and very serious.
It'll ruin my life. Is it
probably
similar to if I say something about Taylor Swift that people wouldn't love?
Yeah, I would say similar. I mean, it's books, so probably not quite as large of a group of folks, but definitely just as passionate. And all folks who are ACOTAR and Sarah J. Maas fans will understand what I'm saying, because once you go there, you cannot ungo.
Okay. I will make the decision by midnight tonight. And also, I'm Juniper, licensed clinical social worker and mental health educator. Very new into romantasy. So new that I don't even know yet what I'm getting into, apparently. But what my favorite escape is usually science fiction if we're speaking of genres of books.
I do love a science fiction moment also.
Love it. I love dystopian future. I love science fiction. And somebody that I've read almost their entire library is Octavia Butler. Octavia Butler had a knack for not only telling a really damn good story, but also bringing in so many elements, political elements, historical elements, elements of race.
I will tell you the books that I just gave you, none of that.
We should probably do our meme of the week.
Okay. Meme of the week.
Meme.
Now I'm going to have to find my meme again. I don't remember what I did. So my meme is from @thecosmicco_, and it is a picture of like a nighttime sky with some planets superimposed on the nighttime sky, and on top of the planets superimposed on those are some of our favorite classic internet folks, like internet meme folks, looking kind of dismayed or disgusted or put out. And it says, "The planets looking back at you while you blame them for your bad behavior."
I feel sorry for the planets. It's not their fault.
Well,
I feel for them. I truly do.
and I said, I don't feel for them because it's their fault. Like, they made the choice to cause chaos. Like, why is that? Why do we feel bad for somebody that's causing chaos?
It's not their fault. If they're just minding their business, doing what they do, it's like, it's not chaos for them. It's chaos for us. They're just like chilling. Just like when people talk about invasive plant species. Sometimes I feel weird about the word invasive because I'm like, oh, they didn't mean to be here. They truly didn't. They didn't ask to come.
You're right.
They just
It's not
got
their
here.
fault. Somebody just brought their little seed over.
There's a new word, and it is introduced species.
Oh, that's a little kinder.
Yeah,
A
because
little more compassionate.
we're starting to have a little empathy for the other beings in the world that don't revolve around us or care about humans. So anyway, that's my little thing with the planets. But then again, when we did have the recording difficulties and I felt super guilty because I was kind of wasting our time, I told Laurel, I was like, oh my God, maybe it was the moon.
Yeah, so then you started to
I
blame.
started to do
You
it because
started
I
to
didn't want the
blame
blame to be on
the
me
celestial bodies
for not pressing
after
record.
shaming me for blaming them.
I did because I did not want to take it.
I feel,
The
but see,
heat.
that's fair.
Yeah,
See, when the heat is on, it's real easy to just give it to the planets.
it is.
Or like I typically don't go with the I just blame the moon. We can just say, I don't have to know anything about like the details. It's just like the moon, like, is it full or not?
I always just feel bad for them. Maybe what if we start doing this? Like, what if we say, yes, Mercury, go ahead and tear up that technology because we want Elon Musk to suffer.
Okay.
I am going to do a new one from an account called Wasted. And I'm guessing this is something like The Onion. Okay, guess what? This is not The Onion. I first thought this was The Onion, then I actually just looked it up while you were talking. So sorry. And this account Wasted is not a satirical news, but listen to the headline that is on here. It is a huge cruise liner, and it says, "This cruise company invites passengers to skip forward 4 years on world voyage." I thought that was satire.
No, it's real. That's real. You can really buy a room for 4 years, allegedly,
It's real.
on this cruise. Like, well, I say allegedly not because it's not real, but because they haven't launched yet.
Yeah.
Because remember that there was that other cruise that
Mhm.
was supposed to do that, and people like sold their houses and all of their belongings, and then they didn't have anything, and the cruise got canceled. So you cannot be here for 4 years of Trump's presidency.
Yeah, or not be anywhere. You'll just be at sea getting
Yeah.
served.
Maritime
Presumably.
law.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what that is. I've just heard the term.
Guess what the price starts at?
Many zeros.
Prices start at less than $40,000 annually for a 4-year commitment, making it an enticing option for those ready to leave the world behind for a while. Honestly, 40 grand
40 grand per year or for all 4 years?
per year. You know what we can do for free? Disassociate for 4 years
Oh yeah,
and read
I don't need
only
a cruise.
romantasy.
I'll just get a romantasy book
Thank
and
you.
just sit and stare at the wall.
Yep.
Not one of those people that's like, this is the worst year ever. Next year's going to be amazing. I'm just ready to be done.
You're
I'm
ready.
ready to leave this year behind.
All right.
Put it on the shelf. Done and dusted, truly.
Yeah. So what is in for 2025? What year are we in? For 2025, and what is out for 2024? What are we
Well,
leaving behind?
Yes. What's going to be left behind?
We're just
in
saying
2024 or
Yeah.
beyond, because it should have been left behind a long time ago.
Oh, yes.
Also, it may be just something that's like trending, that like we notice is trending, or it may be something that we want to be.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a guarantee that this is already a trend. We just kind of hope it might be. And or it's not something that we are 100% a proponent of all the time ever, but we see it coming up.
Got it. We got guesses.
See it.
We got wishes.
Guesses and wishes.
Yeah.
Truly.
Guesses and wishes.
Okay. So are we going to start with the ins or the outs?
I kind of like starting with what we're leaving behind or what is so out.
Okay. We'll start with our outs. Do you want to go first?
Nope.
Okay. I will go first. So my first out for 2025 is that's that was not a drum roll and I didn't like it. Contracted insurance rates.
Oh, peace out.
Peace out. Get out. It's all out.
We're done with you. What is it that we're talking about in case someone doesn't know?
Yeah. So yes, I'll explain. So if you are a professional who takes an insurance, especially in the mental health community, because like obviously medical billing is a whole thing that I don't understand. But like a therapist, for example, who takes an insurance, you have a contract with each company. Each company decides how much they're going to pay you for, let's say, 1 hour of therapy. And that is based on different factors that really don't make sense and are pretty arbitrary and subjective. So one insurance company might pay me one rate for an hour, and another company might pay me $30 less for the same work and the same amount of time for no reason other than they just decided that's what they would give me. And we really don't have any say in what that is like at all. There is sometimes a process that you can try to appeal it or ask for more. Very rare for that to change.
Arbitrary, there's no written set of circumstances that you must meet in order to qualify for a rate increase. Right. So it seems and appears to be random. It doesn't matter about the years of experience. It doesn't matter how many people you have in a group practice. The location and region doesn't seem to matter much, but we are also legally and contractually obligated to not share our rates.
Right. We are literally not allowed to tell anyone outside of our practice or ourselves, if we're a solo practice, what an insurance company is paying us for our work.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people do, but you can get in big trouble and they can punish you for doing so if they ever found out that you did.
Tucker Carlson playing the role of whoever decides what compensation rates mental health professionals get.
Dad comes home and he's pissed. Dad is pissed. He's very disappointed in their behavior and he's going to have to let them know. Get to your room right now and think about what you did. And when Dad gets home, you know what he says? You've been a bad girl. You've been a bad little girl and you're getting a vigorous spanking right now. And no, it's not going to hurt me more than it hurts you. No, it's not. I'm not going to lie. This is going to hurt you a lot more than it hurts me. And you earned this.
So not only is the therapist down the street from me being paid an entirely different amount of money for the same job and the same time and the same amount of work, we're not allowed to talk to each other about it. It's shady and it's evil and it needs to change. It's got to go.
Yeah, out.
As a client or a consumer of mental health services, because it can directly affect how much you are paying for your mental health services. So if you're using your insurance and you don't have a copay, you may pay less to one therapist at a practice and potentially be charged more for another practice based on their contracted rate. So it also affects your ability to financially afford the exact therapist who could be a good fit for you. Mm-hmm. And how much you are paying for your own healthcare. And it also affects you at all of us in that's why a lot of therapists are stopping taking insurance. It's not the only reason, but it is a big reason. It's because insurance companies do not pay therapists or mental health professionals well. We are the lowest paid healthcare providers.
Mhm.
I think, period.
Mhm.
We make at least 30% less than any other healthcare provider. And we don't have really any control over that. And so that's why a lot of therapists aren't taking insurance anymore. And it's not because they don't want to serve people who need to use their insurance. It's because we can't pay our bills.
Right. I'm
Oh.
going to say percentage of that happening in 2025. I'm going to give it a high 65.
Okay. I'm into it. I'm on board with that being a high probability because I am sick of it. What's your first out?
Well, that was a doozy to get started with. So I did have therapy accessibility in my list. Topic switch. You know what I think is going to be out? And it kind of already is. X.
Oh, so out.
I think you're out. And we're already seeing it. People are moving to Threads. There's another app people are using, Blue Sky. I think it might go away.
I hope it goes away. I hope I'm going to give that a wishful 100% guarantee. I think that's probably wrong. Like the percentage guarantee that's like definitely going to happen just because I'm a conspiracy theorist about how billionaires control everything and they can do whatever they want. So, but I shouldn't say I'm a conspiracy theorist because that's probably not a conspiracy.
I don't think that's a conspiracy. I think that's just
and generally
knowledge.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist. That's just my theory. That is not a conspiracy.
I mean, remember when Stephen King trolled Elon Musk? And now Stephen King's out.
What?
Stephen King leaves X, describing the atmosphere as too toxic.
Well, it is.
He denies that Elon kicked him off the platform because he's joining Threads. Guardian said it would stop posting on X, citing concerns over toxic content on the platform. Actor Jamie Lee Curtis left. Don Lemon, the journalist, left. A Spanish newspaper left. A lot of people are leaving that are prominent on the platform, that have a lot of followers, that probably bring a lot of money to the platform. This is a controversial one, but along with that, what else I want to say goodbye to? And Facebook while we're at it. Because it is, in my opinion, this platform has become toxic, cluttered, kind of stagnant, and full of AI, full of bots, full of articles that are being shared that are mis and disinformation. It just seems like it's a toxic place. I haven't been on it.
It's a struggle in Facebook land. I agree. It's just full of AI. And there are several groups that I am still on Facebook to be a part of that I do get a lot out of. Now, they're small. They're not like huge, giant, like all of Facebook land groups. So, if ostensibly there was another way to move all of those people to something else, that's fine with me. But I just can't leave yet because I don't want to leave some of those groups.
I get it. Well, once the organization happens and there's places for the groups to go, my sense is like maybe people will jet, because I think that platform has gotten toxic. Maybe they all have, but I'm thinking those two are going to be the first to go in 2025.
Okay. Next out is venerating old white cis men in the mental health field. So I'm not taking any of their trainings. I'm not reading any of their books. Maybe someday I'll come back, but 2025 is not that year. We're not doing anything with any of them. They can just have a little break. They can go sit over here for a minute. They've been in active play for way too long. They need to go. I don't do sports. They need to go sit on the bench and let someone else have a turn.
They're benched.
They are benched.
They need a break. They've been playing too long.
For 2025. So that's why we're going to force bench them in 2025 because they're not going to bench themselves. So I'm going to do it.
Yeah, there's plenty of other people that can contribute to the field. Now, we can get lots of trainings from other than cis white men.
Absolutely.
First banned book is Body Keeps the Score. And I'm just We're stopping.
Oh,
I love that.
Okay. What's your next out?
I'm wondering, kind of on the mental health train right now. Choo-choo. I'm going to say that an out, it's been very trendy for I don't know how long. Toxic healing narratives or language. The idea that you need to be healed or fixed to be worthy, lovable, whole, human, or that that's even a destination to arrive to in the health and wellness field.
Oh, yeah. So out. I think it's been on its way out, but I agree. We're never going to reach a destination of perfection. So we're always potentially going to have something that needs healing in us, I think. But yeah, like a destination of being healed or healthy.
That's another word.
Or
Get rid of it.
Like well, as opposed to unwell, like that you can exist in only those two states and it's a destination. Yeah, way out.
What's percentage you think?
In 1 year, 30.
Yeah.
30%.
Yeah.
Mental health professionals are definitely not the only ones using that language.
Mm.
So we're for sure going to keep hearing it because it sells. But I think it should be out also.
You already mentioned sidelining or benching some folks. You know what I would love to sideline or bench?
Oh, yeah. Who's going to go out? Who else or what else is going to go on the bench for the next year?
Billionaire and celebrity worship.
Yeah.
I'm so bored of
them.
it. I want to see a cultural rejection of seeing, number one, billionaires as visionaries, of these like geniuses that I want to follow their every move and all of their morning routines and this and that. Also, like this idea that celebrities' opinions matter more than anyone else's. I'm curious of if we continue to allow the billionaires celebrity worship like to dictate everything that we do. Even if you're not into that, or I've seen the cultural significance of the influence that these people have.
It's
Sorry.
hard. It's hard.
Kind of like, boop, turn our gaze. Let's look at mutual aid supporters. Let's look at teachers, community organizers, basically anyone who doesn't have like an offshore account, which I don't even know what that is, but I don't want to talk to people that have it right now.
It's like a bank account where you don't have to pay taxes.
Yeah. How about this? If you have an offshore account, like I just don't want to hear your opinion. And I don't want you, Gwyneth Paltrow, to tell me to drink broth for lunch.
What's your wellness routine look like now?
I eat dinner early in the evening. I do a nice intermittent fast. I usually eat something about 12. And in the morning, I have coffee, but I really like soup for lunch. I have bone broth for lunch a lot of the days. Try to do 1 hour of movement. Then I get in the sauna. I dry brush and I get in the sauna. So I do my infrared sauna for 30 minutes. And then for dinner, I try to eat lots of vegetables. It's really important for me to support my detox.
I'm too hungry to
I'm
just
so
drink
over
broth
it.
for lunch.
I don't want you to tell people how to behave and make a bunch of money off of it. Stop it. Yeah, that's another thing. Another thing that needs to come out is celebrities becoming wellness coaches and influencers. Get out. Stay in your lane. You're an actor. Okay? Quit telling me, Matthew McConaughey, how to live my life.
Does Matthew McConaughey have a wellness?
Oh, he's a
center?
coach now.
He is?
Oh my God. Play the clip.
This should be a $1,000 course, and it's not. I'm just going to be transparent with you. It's not. That's an amazing package. And here's what you get.
That's pretty damn selfish of you. Congratulations. We have to get more self-involved, not less. Who the hell else are you supposed to be full of? That's damn selfish of you. Amen. Good night. Just keep living.
You serious?
Next.
Well-
what's the percentage?
Oh, 5% that's actually going to happen. My next out, we're almost to the end of our out list. We're going to get
Ooh.
to the ends, you all. We're getting there, but we have a couple more outs to go. My next out is, it could apply to you. So if you feel drawn to and or connected to this out, please join me. Business casual. Business casual is out. You were not expecting me to say that word.
No.
Well, first of all, I hate the name business casual. That is the unseasoned chicken of clothing. I just can't. The name pisses me off. The idea makes me mad. Why can't I wear jeans? Why do I have to wear khakis? They're not that different. Why can't I wear a t-shirt? Why does it have to be a collared shirt? That doesn't make any sense. I want to wear what I want to wear, and I don't want you to tell me what I have to wear based on where I'm going. I can make that decision on my own.
Okay.
And if I'm embarrassed or upset once I get there because my vision for my outfit isn't the vibe with everybody else's, that should be on me.
Okay.
No one needs to police my clothing in
Okay.
2025 and beyond.
Done.
We're not doing it anymore. It's way, way out.
I'm fully supportive of that.
Thank you.
I am fully supportive of it. And guess what? Wouldn't everyone be more comfortable if they weren't wearing clothes that they found uncomfortable because they were told to? And then the only day you get to not do it is on a Friday?
I don't have the energy for that anymore.
Yeah. No.
Never again.
Be cozy, because if you're cozy, the people around you probably will be more cozy, and maybe the whole world would be different.
Business casual going out is the way to change everything.
I think so.
Okay, so what percent?
Now, is it just the term, or is it the idea that you have to have dress codes?
But well, I honestly, dress codes don't really bother me that much generally. It's just the business casual category.
Okay, that's the one. So if we're just going with that category, I'm going to give it a cool 10%.
I know.
You know, I don't see it going anywhere soon. You know what it is? I think people want to have a very clear indication of hierarchy in class, unfortunately. And I think clothing has done that through many times throughout history.
Absolutely.
And I think it distinguishes those that are, you know, in the working class. What kind of job do you do?
White collar versus
Right.
other options.
Yeah.
Blue collar.
That's my guess.
like uniform versus
Mm-hmm.
button down shirt.
I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
It's a clear hierarchy. So I think that that's not going anywhere, unfortunately, but we can change it in our world.
Truly.
because-
oh yeah, I'm not abiding by that.
Yeah.
Not that I have a privilege that I don't have to.
Right.
I will say no one is getting on me for what I wear any day of the week. And I will not get penalized if I decide to step out of a certain box. But
Business casual. Peace out. Eat my dust outs of 2024.
Burn some dust here. Eat my rubber.
We are inviting in.
so many new things in 2025. And hopefully some of these will come true.
You are welcome
Come on in.
into our universe.
And my number one in for 2025 is feminine rage. I am all in on that. I think it's time. Not that it has ever been out, I would say. I personally don't think it's ever been out. It's going to have a moment. It is trending on in, and I am ready to go. Wondering if it's going to be collective. So like it's almost like other people stepping in and saying no. Like it could be you saying no to something, but it's also like the collective stepping in and saying no.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Percentage. I'm going to give that a cold, hard 10%.
Feminine rage?
Well,
It's getting a 10%?
No, let me explain myself. I think that there are so many powers to be to shut that down. And I blame lots of cultural pieces, but the trad wife movement, a lot of those movements are very directly aimed at shutting that down. 60%, it's a trend.
Okay.
It needs to be intersectional. So white ladies, you do not get to own feminist rage. Please.
No.
This is an intersectional feminist rage. I'm going to give it a 40 to 60, and then I think it's going to get shut down in various ways. But I think the best way that they're going to the best way it will be shut down will be through cultural influence.
To understand the impact of the I'm just a girl trend, we have to examine it in a broader cultural lens of media that has really perpetuated ideas of women being incapable compared to men.
I kind of have mine in groups of like similar ones, but disagreeable with a splash of petty.
Love that.
With
That
a
is so
splash of
feminine.
petty.
That's very feminine rage.
So this is kind of what I wrote for this one, as you all know. Remember, I like to write things down. Speaking up and challenging norms with a touch of humor and snark when warranted.
When warranted.
Yeah, so that's where the splash of petty's coming in. And for me, that just makes being disagreeable a little more palatable to my personal constitution. Disagreeables coming in, and the top way I think it's going to come in is that we can normalize being grumpy. We can normalize not having to smile and make people comfortable. We can also normalize having opinions that might not be shared by everyone.
Yeah. I Would love if I could get into that space.
Let's normalize not being cute.
I'm going to try.
We don't have to be cute. We don't have to be pretty. We don't have to be cute. We don't have to be
What if I want to be?
like only, yes, but not to be agreeable to society.
Yeah, I can be a cute and disagreeable at the same time.
Oh my God. Disagreeable with a splash of petty and cute the way
Only
you
if
define
you
it.
want to. Yeah.
Okay, percentage.
I think I'm going to give that a 50%. I think that could go either way. I'm
All right.
into it.
But how
I'm
about for
into
our
it.
personal one?
Oh, as a
How much
personal
personally do you
one,
think we can do it? Now we have to say we as a team because we're both trying.
I think we can do it. I'm going to give us an 80%.
Yes.
I think we can improve. I'm not going to say we're going to do a total 180, but I think we can,
Yeah.
one day at a time. I think we can push that up a little bit, turn that volume up just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
2025. And so with that, my second in, and this is like, remember that some of this is like things that we just want to be in, and some of it is things that we see coming in or like overlap of both. So it's not, doesn't necessarily mean it was ever out. But I think going along with that, we're going to see a big rise in popularity in music of like sort of anti-authoritarian themes, maybe some like revisiting of like the Riot Girl genre. There's gonna be like a resurgence of popularity of all that music.
Yes, and also some of the hip hop that was, I would also say, anti-authoritarian rage.
Totally, hip hop can absolutely be a part.
Like
of this.
Public Enemy. Who was I listening to the other day? And I was like, oh my God, I forgot about Dead Prez, Public Enemy. You're going to see my age as I'm mentioning these. KRS-One. Anyhow, so yeah, I'm going to give that a percentage of 95.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I can't do 100.
No, I mean, I don't know.
But that's a 95. Yes. Yes.
All right, what's your next one?
I'm just going to follow that by saying that I think that the whole DIY anarchist zine culture is coming.
Oh, I had zines.
I know. Oh
my. I don't know if people can hear a theme for what I've been talking about being in, but zines, which you can explain, is totally in line with all of this so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What I love about it is that it's like a little more analog, as we talked about. And I definitely think we're seeing the shift from the need to escape everything digital.
Yeah. And it's not going to be safe to put anything on the digital space anymore.
Right.
I'm just saying, don't type anything that you wouldn't want someone else to read.
Yeah.
Say it, forget it, write it, regret it.
Oh.
You've never heard that?
No, but I think that sounds like a bumper sticker.
Yeah, it should be.
But yes, and that's the coolest thing about when you go analog. You have a good old-fashioned conversation, but also with the zines, it's kind of an underground way of communicating. And from my understanding, back in my zine days, when I either participated in reading or distributing them, it was like anyone could contribute, and you Xeroxed it at your school library. Do y'all remember Xerox?
Yes, I do.
You did a copy.
I do.
We would copy them off, and we would all have to do certain ones because you only got like limits of free copies at my school. And then you would just distribute it for free wherever, whenever. Now I know some
throw it into the hallway.
Throw it in.
See who picks it up.
Just put it out there.
Absolutely.
I think it's going to happen.
I agree. Okay, I think that is a 60%.
Yeah.
Because I love it and I want it to happen. And a lot of folks are still very much married, wedded to the digital space. So that might take some doing.
Yeah.
I think it could.
Oh my God. It's going to be hard to pick. It's going to be hard to pick. It's going to be hard to pick.
Well, this isn't your last one. So,
In nuance, please, Lord Buddha. Nuance. And when I say that, can we please reject oversimplification? Maybe a little. Maybe embrace some complexity. Maybe embrace the both and conversations and mental health.
I love it.
Maybe we
good.
Bring in some long form content, which we are big advocates of. Not because we want you to have to listen to us forever, but in order to have nuanced conversations, they do take a little time.
That's right.
To discuss.
Not a quick fix.
Not a quick fix.
It's not a 30-second hot take.
No, it's not a one size fits all. It's nuance.
Oh, I agree. I mean, you know, I love a both and moment. If any of my clients are listening to this, they're probably rolling their eyes because I say that every time.
Yeah, you have talent also, not just by saying it, but like really allowing your brain and mind and body to rest in that. And it's very inspiring to me.
Well, I appreciate that. It feels comfortable for me. It feels way more uncomfortable to have absolutes. I do not like that. And that's my personality. I absolutely come back to that because I do think it's a gift and like a necessity, whether it's uncomfortable or
We
not.
can all grow it.
Totally. So I would say 70%. I think I'm hearing more conversations that sound similar in different spaces. I think people are slowly kind of over time getting burnt out on the hot take absolutist. I mean, it's always going to be sort of enticing, but at the end of the day, it's like drama. You know, it's like it is enticing, but it gets exhausting. My next in is therapy and therapists being openly political so folks know what they're getting themselves into.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just staring at people. If you're not watching this on YouTube, if you're listening to the podcast, that was probably a weird moment.
Yeah, that pause was
a really pointed pause.
What kind of stare was that?
It was a blamey stare.
Yeah.
It was a you know if I'm talking about you.
Yeah.
Kind of a stare. I'm over the idea that we can be so neutral that we can't cause harm to somebody if our values are not aligning with theirs. I don't think that that's accurate because we are our tools and nobody is a robot, whether you would like to believe you can be or not. And so I think it's ethical care to allow clients to have agency in that way and consumers of therapy to have agency in that way because you are developing what is hopefully a space that's like a really safe therapeutic relationship for somebody to be vulnerable. And so when we are not open about our values, then there is a real big risk that somebody could be in a very unsafe space for them, especially folks in oppressed classes and people groups. Being open about your values and political beliefs is in so that people can make an informed choice about whether or not you're a safe person to be their therapist.
100%. And I love true informed consent. I'm going to do one that is kind of a personal one, but also I'd like to see other people embracing it as well. Public grieving.
Yeah, tell us about public grieving.
So I think that being composed and happy and positive, or at best neutral and disengaged in the public sphere, I just think normalizing expressions of grief without the need for fixing it, for shutting it down, for telling someone it's going to be okay or that they're going to be prayed for or any performative like fixing. I think it needs to come in because part of the expression of grief and other emotions to add into that is normal. And you can't just shut it off just because you just happen to be walking down the street.
Very true.
Again, I think it is a subtle cultural prescription to shut it down, for it not to be seen or shown, because just like the rage fuels action in some ways, I think the grief shows the reality of the pain around us and the loss and the devastation.
I think more people are sick of it also, like just sick of like having to censor themselves, I guess. And so I think that could very much be an in. I'm going to give it a 40% because we still live where we live. I mean, I did host a scream night once.
Oh, what?
Where we all got together and we screamed very loudly.
Yes. In community or by yourself.
Sure, go scream by yourself.
woods,
You don't have to have
car.
you don't have to have a group of people.
But there's something very powerful about that.
Yes, truly. But yes, a weeping, a crying circle would also be great.
Or just anything. Now, personally, me, I don't want to be with somebody else.
That's fine. You
I need
don't
to
have to be.
100% by myself. Yeah, I don't want someone joining me or touching me. I think something new that's like a new norm. There'll definitely be some rocky roads to get there. So like I think we'll have to learn new etiquette.
Yeah, because I will say when you talk about this, there's a part of me that's like, okay, but I do want to be able to know if they like actually need help. Because there is a chance that somebody could actually need help sometime, or if they don't need help and they just need a witness. Yeah, I need to know if they actually need assistance,
right,
and support from another person, or if they don't and they're just crying.
I wonder what will culturally arise as the etiquette. I think that it probably will start with, please ask. If you see someone sobbing and crying, do you need support?
Yeah, just don't get mad at me if I ask.
Yeah, may I support
then
you?
I'll stop.
No, I don't mind if someone asks me a question because I might need it.
Yeah.
Like, what if I'm getting ready to pass out?
What if you're crying because you're like injured or something and I can't tell?
Exactly. So yeah, 100%. I think that's going to be the start. We'll start a suggestion of the etiquette is to ask.
Yeah.
Very
kind of like when you take first aid training and you have to do the consent thing and you have to be like, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? And if they don't respond, then like the Good Samaritan law, like you can do whatever you need to do.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. Falls under that anyway. That could be part of first aid training.
Oh my God.
Nobody's going to take mental health first aid training, but everybody has to take, like, think about how many jobs you've had to take first aid training.
You're
for.
right.
We put that in there.
So
in.
Another in.
Okay. I'm so ready.
This one cracks me up because it's just a classic me. And the reason why I say that is because my whole life I've been called Debbie Downer. I've been called, whatever it is, whatever.
Like
insert cultural
sound.
Yeah.
What was that? Was that on SNL where they had like that character? Maybe she was Debbie Downer.
Oh, Debbie Downer is an SL character.
Okay,
I mean, an SNL character.
And it would go like wah, wah,
yeah.
Wah, every time. Okay.
If I had a wish, I wish that they'd release that poor hostage in Iraq.
You're enjoying your day, everything's going your way, when along comes Debbie Downer.
So insert your cultural reference. It could be Tina from Bob's Burgers. It could be Daria. Just insert.
I love Daria so much.
Yeah.
Daria is like my childhood.
Thank you.
I used to watch Daria all the time.
Okay. So
love Daria.
Culture for Daria.
Love Daria. Daria, I love you. Come back.
So I'm bringing in just a little of my old stuff here. It sucks to have a personality type that people always want to make fun of. I would do things like when my stepsister got engaged and she was showing everyone her ring. Swear to God, around the dinner table, I was 15, 14 years old. And the first thing I said was like, probably a blood diamond. Right. That's the Debbie Downer behavior.
I will say.
What?
I feel like that could be taken directly from an SNL Debbie Downer skit. Like that sounds exactly like something they would have written.
That's stuff I would do. That was stuff I would do. Or I would say something like they would go, and then their honeymoon was on a cruise. And I was like, oh, wow, you're going on a cruise? That's a lot of pollution.
Maybe you're more disagreeable than you thought.
I know. So in all of this, I'm coining a term that I did not make up probably. Sustainable pessimism.
Okay, sustainable pessimism.
The opposite of this would be like rooted optimism. So all you optimists, cup half full people, you get that term, but I'm going to go with sustainable pessimism. And it's basically balancing. So sustainable, balancing hope with realism and practicality in this changing world.
So like being true that it's probably a blood diamond, and there could be we could bring in a little and.
They're called blood diamonds because people and children die. And it's pretty on your finger, and I hope you have a happy marriage.
Or maybe it's
I'm playing.
You can't even do the sustainable part. You can't even do. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Maybe it's more of not quite that, but I'm wondering if it's more like, and you may not have been given the opportunity to think about those things until exactly this moment. And I'm going to see you as a person who whether you have lived in ignorance of this or not up until now, could be capable of learning and changing.
Right.
And that's why I'm sharing that fact.
I love it. Or we could bring in nuance. So this is where this was an unskilled approach I used to take, which was just to blurt out shit like that. Like always blurting out the realistic and worst part of a situation. And it bursted people's bubbles usually when they were like super excited or happy about something. And I'd be like, someone's like, "Oh, I'm going to recycle that." You mean wish cycle that? But anyhow, I think a nuanced part could also say something of, and it's horrific that those are the only options available for people, or that affordable diamonds are not conflict free. I used to do the problem where I just blamed the individual. So I would always go to try to like blame them or put them
So
down.
it's talking about the systems that they're, at the end of the day, potentially also a victim of, and or just at least operating under.
So
placing the blame where in the shame,
right,
where it belongs.
I think that's sustainable pessimism, because we need to say the real thing, but also direct the anger or direct the blame where it belongs, and maybe not to the individual. And it's just this example, but that would be how I would practice sustainable pessimism now as an adult versus that very messy Daria, Debbie Downer style that I had in my youth.
Maybe Daria would like sustainable pessimism now that she's older.
Right. I mean, do you want to know how annoying I was? I literally wore PETA shirts and said cows are my friends. Okay. I was 11.
I feel like you can't hold your 11-year-old self accountable for that kind of stuff, because if you didn't do something embarrassing or over the top or in a way that really may not have been helpful but was good-hearted at age 11, then you're probably not a person. It's part of that time of your life.
It is. Or like the time where I was going to visit my uncle in jail, and it was picture day. And so you like get to go out there and they have photographers and they take pictures of families and loved ones.
That's nice.
So I went in, and guess what shirt I wore? Adam was a rough draft. It was my feminist shirt, and I wanted it in my picture.
I love that shirt.
Did you all know I was not popular?
Love
We're
it.
cutting half of
I
that.
love that story. Don't
Percentage.
cut that out. I'm going to give that a 70%, just because
70? That's
I don't
way
know that
higher.
people are going to latch onto the term right away, because
Maybe we say rooted optimism.
yeah, maybe.
Like you're rooted in
I
reality.
like rooted optimism. I love that.
See,
I think people hopefully are moving more again toward this idea that like bad shit is actually happening and has always been happening. And now we've been pushed into this place where we can't really look away from it anymore. And if you are, it's like intentional. It's right in front of your face. So that's my hope anyway. I'm going to be rootedly optimistic about that percentage.
All right.
Last one is, I think, it's not a silly, it's I think an important one. So I'm going to end on an important note, and I will explain. But my last in for 2025 is lifting up and celebrating and encouraging therapists who are men. Okay. And here's why. Because I know I said my out was venerating like old cis white men in the mental health field. So someone might hear me say that and think that doesn't make any sense. What I mean is there is an imbalance in our field where, in the United States at least, the majority of mental health professionals are white women. And the majority of people that we're learning from are old white men. We are so imbalanced in the folks who are providing these services. And so definitely also lifting up therapists of color as well. And I think like I just have heard so many folks who really need, there's all this conversation about like toxic masculinity, and as far as like how the election went and the role of men in how the election went, and the role of defining how to be a man and how the election went, just generally right now, especially.
Can I also say one thing really quick? There are certain organizations and groups that have been speaking to men and have been prioritizing and focusing on men. I think that you're right. We could do better in the mental health industry because other people are speaking to some form or another of disenfranchisement, the edgelord kind of vibe, the manosphere. There's obviously a need and a desire for men to express themselves.
And to learn
How would
from
you
other
put this?
men.
Yes.
Like, it's okay if a man doesn't want to see me as a woman. Like, it's okay if that's not what they connect with. But when they don't have someone else to go to,
they go to Jordan Peterson.
Service, yeah, they're going to these other people who are speaking to them as men.
Yeah.
And so I think also with that, professionally in our field, in the same way that for so long, there's been sort of this push to open up like STEM to women, like STEM careers. We need to be teaching like young people who are men to look at helping professional careers. So not just encouraging girls to do whatever they want, but like shifting and having some more balance and opening our field up to be attainable and attractive and welcoming to men who want to do this work. And I will say, I know therapists who are men who are amazing.
Yeah.
And so it's not that like it's totally inaccessible, but we need more of you all, please, because somebody's talking to our young boys and it's not the ones we want. So can you please balance things out a little bit,
please? And shout out to YouTube channel The Chocolate Therapist, who provides content but also happens to be very talented in filming and videography. It's a very high quality content. The Chocolate Therapist.
Therapy YouTube space is a small space, but if I'm going to be honest, it's dominated by white voices. Again, nothing wrong with white people doing their thing and educating the masses, but there's a void of black voices in the therapeutic space that I'm hungry to fill. To me, where the therapy YouTube space stands is that it can be a little boring, a little bland. You get what I'm trying to say? There really aren't a lot of black therapists in general, let alone on YouTube. Especially black men. I just looked it up right now, and black people make up about 4% of all therapists in the United States. That's unfortunately low, and unfortunate in general, because if anyone needs therapy, it's black people. I'm not saying that we're crazy or anything. I'm just saying that the generational trauma we've experienced has to be healed. And I think I have a part to play in that healing.
Last one.
You get to finish us up.
Oh, God.
What's your last in for our list for 2025?
This is perfect. Rest and work not being my entire identity, or
so in
pastime.
The most in
Rest.
I'm 100% on board with that.
I think that it has been coming up. Rest is resistance.
The Nat Ministry.
The
Shout
Nat
out.
Ministry, safe places for people to rest and let their nervous systems have some space to not be on guard all the time. Yes. Saying, I'm done with burnout culture, if I can. And even if we are involved in a very high stress or job that demands a lot, that it's okay to rest, to reclaim our humanity beyond productivity. There's other things in our human experience as an animal that we have to experience and offer other than productivity. And I'm saying this as a person who is a workaholic. I'm saying this as a person that when I do get to have rest, I feel guilty and weird to rest. I feel I have to be doing something productive. I better be researching. I better be making to-do list. I better be doing my shopping. And so I'm saying this from personal experience. I want to rest.
I also want to rest.
rest.
I'm tired. I want to lay down.
I'm so tired.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to have an identity other than work or than what I produce in the world.
I give that a 60%.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
more than half.
More than half. I'm just saying, like, I am into it. And I think productivity culture is real strong in our social location. And there are so many narratives around like still that are so popular about like hustle and grind and make money. And
I thought we were done with those.
I hope we are, but I don't think we are. everybody actually is. I think we're in a biased sample size.
Good point. Well, I just did see somebody, I'm gonna put a clip possibly. They were talking about that because everyone found out that hustle culture is out and they were getting backlash. You know how people just change the name of things to continue to do the same thing?
Absolutely.
Like when diet became out, then it was just like insert whatever else, but you still mean
Wellness.
diet. Yeah. Right. So I think something similar has been sort of happening with the culture girl boss situation. Now they're calling it soft boss or something like that. I'm going to insert it in. And basically, it's the same thing, but it's saying you hustle your way to relaxation.
I am so sick of the soft life girlies who make it look like the only way to radiate feminine energy and to have a soft life is by doing nothing, depending on a man to meet your every need, and then making it look like the opposite of that is just hustling and grinding all day long. No to both of those.
Can we end this with you giving me a tip about a rest? Please, Laurel.
I don't know. Do I have a tip on how to rest?
Do you? My therapist. Oh, she got so mad at me.
Why?
I was supposed to not work last weekend.
Oh, and you did.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can give you a tip, but you're going to have to actually do it.
Okay.
Okay, you know those books I gave you?
Yes. Do it.
You have to read that.
Okay.
And you can't do anything else while you're doing it.
Not even listen to music while I'm doing it?
No.
Okay. Can
You have
I
to be,
walk
like,
while I'm
sitting-
doing
no.
it on my treadmill?
No.
Okay.
You just got to sit down and read.
And so what about you?
What do you mean?
One tip to usher in your in for the next time we see each other.
I'm just going to scream really loud in my car probably.
Yes. Report back.
I will.
And I'll
if
report
anybody
back.
notices me driving down the street and screaming, you'll know it was my homework. You're going to scream, aren't you?
No, I don't want to. I'll scare my dog.
Okay. Find it, we'll find you a time.
Or we could do the scream that I saw this one person do on TikTok. It's my favorite thing.
Does it feel good?
Oh my God, I just loved it. You do, it's a silent scream. You go,
no, I need to let the noise out. That doesn't do
that kind of felt good to me.
Ooh.
It gave me a little rush.
Try it and let us know what you think. Okay, so those are ins and those are outs. Let us know what you think about our ins and outs. What are your ins or outs for this coming year?
Yes.
Let
Please
us know. Please share. Please like and subscribe. We would really appreciate it. Liking and subscribing is in. Giving a review is in.
Because you are supporting for free content creators that are not part of the global conspiracy cabal, whatever else.
We definitely don't have a contract with the Daily Wire.
Guess what? We're not making any money. So
not at this point. Please subscribe. Please give us a rating or review or both if you're listening to this on a podcast. And we love you. And we'll be back. Speaking of rest, we're going to be taking a little break from recording.
Yep. Holiday break.
We will be back so soon after we take a rest. Cheers. Okay, bye.